What is going on, Pats Nation? You guys already know who it is. Patriots Global back here with another video. And in this one, we are continuing the complete breakdown of each prospect the New England Patriots have drafted from rounds 1 to 7 for the 2023 draft class. If you guys want to know about all the other players they drafted, again, from rounds 1 to 7, I have each individual video on every single one of these prospects. I also have a playlist put together so that you can find all those guys who are drafted in order for all of their draft profiles, again, for this 2023 class. But today, guys, we're going to be talking about one of my favorite prospects. This is probably my second or third favorite guy that the Patriots drafted in this entire class. The New England Patriots are drafting Kayshon Boutte, wide receiver from LSU, in the 6th round with pick 187 overall. So without further ado, let's break him down and hop into today's video. Now, Kayshon Boutte here, let me tell you, the sentence or the phrase that I would give to describe this guy is absolute boom or absolute bust. This is the exact example of what I say when I say football from a collegiate level and especially at an NFL level is a what have you done for me lately sport. 2 years ago, this guy would have been a first-round pick. He holds the record for most yards most yards in a game at LSU. Unfortunately, he takes a big step back this past year, has a horrific combine, a combine nobody expected him to test as badly at, and it now drops him to the 6th round. Everybody was upset that the Patriots didn't take a wide receiver in rounds 1 to 5. There were a lot of good receivers still on the board, but this is the exact move I wanted the Patriots to do, right? If they were going to draft any receiver in rounds, 1 to 3, there was only one guy that I really liked, and that was going to be JSN. Obviously, they could have had JSN. They chose not to get JSN. But I like this idea of the Patriots going a 6th to 7th round flyer because they really do have issues developing wide receivers. Now and then we get a diamond in the rough. Now and then we get a guy that just develops so well and fits this scheme so perfectly that we get the best out of him. But it is very, very rare. I can count on one hand the amount of good receivers the Patriots have actually gotten. Julian Edelman, Jacoby Myers. We had Malcolm Mitchell, but he only lasted a year. So, and if Malcolm Mitchell didn't have those injury histories, he's probably a first-round pick. So the Patriots still probably wouldn't have even gotten him then. So here with Kayshon Boutte, he's the type of guy where there is so much potential for him to be the best receiver on the New England Patriots. And am I saying that for 2023? No, because I don't think he will. If he makes this final roster and he contributes one way or another, I don't see him within a few months being able to take such a big leap forward, as long as injuries don't happen, that somehow he is wide receiver 1 to wide receiver 2. But if he can really continue to perform well and show that first round ability each and every single year here with the Patriots, then by year 2, year 3, I think there's a real discussion that we could talk about him being wide receiver 1 to wide receiver 2 for the Patriots. He could be the most dynamic wide receiver here on the Patriots wide receiver depth chart, as long as he can be the old wide receiver that he used to be. These issues that he had last year were major reasons that he has dropped now to the 6th round. The fact that the Patriots are taking a flyer on a guy that has so much potential, but taking him in the 6th round to the point where if it doesn't matter, great, you took a flyer on a guy. That's what the 6th and 7th round is for. Taking flyers on guys that you think could fit your system well, or taking flyers on guys that maybe have injury histories or issues off the field that have dropped them so low. This is what these rounds are for, and that's exactly what the Patriots have done. A guy that would have been one of the top picks if it was 2 years ago, but now that we're in the present, drops to the 6th round, and now you have the potential to get a number 1 to a number 2 wide receiver out of it. Probably more, though, of a number 2 wide receiver, if we're going to be honest with ourselves. Now, to break this one down, PFF absolutely love this pick for the Patriots, and I don't see how you could disagree. I've had some questionable feelings towards how PFF has liked some of these Patriots picks, such as Antonio Mafi. I thought that was an excellent pick for the Patriots, despite them going guard almost back to back to back. But I did still like the Antonio Mafi pick a lot. I've always thought that it was an excellent pick for the Patriots. Obviously, connections in the Shrine Bowl. Have a video on him if you guys want to go check out that draft profile prospect video. But PFF didn't like that pick for the Patriots. So I don't always agree with PFF, but here I completely agree. They think that this is an elite pick for the New England Patriots, and this is what that they had to say about Kayshon Boutte to the Patriots. They said, Boutte fell for many reasons. A lack of production in 2022 after lofty expectations, a very poor scouting combine, and apparent off-field concerns. However, this is a player many analysts projected as a potential number one wide receiver, in the 2023 draft class before the start of the season. The New England Patriots are getting him at pick 187. So again, they come back saying everything that I just told you. A guy that has such number one wide receiver potential, but unfortunately, again, with a what have you done for me lately type of sport, drops him down significantly. If we're going to look at what he did this past year, he graded out much worse this past year compared to the other 2 years. A 64.8 overall grade versus 2021 when he had a 75.8 overall grade and a 73.1 overall grade in 2020. He mainly has been used, believe it or not, as a slot receiver, right? So if we're going to look at his size, he's 5'11", 195 pounds. Ideally, this is going to be a slot guy because he's a little bit undersized, but at 5'11", he just misses that mark of 6 foot. The Patriots can play him outside. The Patriots can play him inside. He's going to have inside-outside versatility. He's going to have versatility alongside the offense. And I think that's something that's going to be very, very important. We talked about straight up slot receivers. We talked about outside guys, but again, a guy here that's going to be able to do both overall. In terms of where he played the most, like I said, it was mainly slot this past year. But like in 2020, he was mainly used as a perimeter wide receiver. And then in 2021, he was just a little bit more of a perimeter receiver than he was a slot receiver. Just took a massive leap as a slot receiver this past year, which makes me wonder also too, he was put in the slot a lot more, right? This last year, the year that he also dropped a ton in production. Is he more of a perimeter wide receiver? Is he more of a guy you're going to put out wide? That's my question. I wonder if that's what the Patriots see in him also. I could see the Patriots kind of using him away in like a Kendrick Bourne, right? Kendrick Bourne has inside-outside versatility, a guy that they seem to like to play a little bit more on the outside, but they do play in the slot at times also. This past year, he put up 48 receptions on 73 targets for 538 yards, averaging 11.2 yards per reception and 2 touchdowns. I would also like to say that this dude is a chain mover, right? He's not just going to be a slot receiver that picks up those short to intermediate yards for you. Like I said, 11.2 yards per reception this past year, 13.6 in 2021, and 16.3 in 2020. This dude is an absolute chain mover for a guy his size. He's actually pretty good in terms of contested catch rates. He's just below 50 at a 45.5%, which is also just above average. But for a guy his size, very, very good. I think that he's a decent route runner, but he's very, very raw in that aspect. Like there's a lot to still get out of Kayshon Boutte in terms of his route running ability. His yards per route run was pretty well below average with a 1.49 yards. But also a guy who's only 20 years old, right? About to be 21. There's a lot of time to continue to develop him. This isn't a guy who's 24 and he's pretty much as developed as you can possibly get him. In terms of thing that I do like about Kayshon Boutte, big playability. Like I said, he leads LSU in most yards in a single game with a little over 300. He had over 300 yards in one game. Absolutely absurd, but big playability for him 100%. This is a guy that can stretch the field for the Patriots. Another thing that I like about him is that he's also very versatile, like I said before. Also a complete vertical threat for the Patriots, something that I think that they can use big time. A guy who can stretch the field, but not just stretch the field in terms of just going and running go routes, but someone who can actually stretch vertically, I think is a big concern for the Patriots in terms of something they haven't had in a long time. And Boutte brings that potential. But something that I do have concerns for him is his drop rate, right? He had a big drop rate this past year, and maybe that's because he was dealing with an injury. He said that he was dealing with the injury, had to get surgery, and that's part of why he didn't test well at the combine also. But nonetheless, you have a mega drop, or you have a above average drop rate. You're going to start to have concerns there. Patriots don't like having guys on the field that they cannot count on. Also, because of how small he is, he does have a very limited catch radius. This isn't the guy that Mac's going to be able to throw, 10 the ball, 5-10 yards ahead of him, and he's going to be able to make the catch. He's going to have to be pretty accurate when throwing to Kayshon Boutte, but once he does, Kayshon Boutte after the catch will be able to make some magic. And just improving his ability to get release. He's not somebody that's going to get NFL open very often. And that's something that Patriots have had concerns in the past too, is their receivers getting separation against press man. I think Boutte is going to have a lot of issues with that. If he can work on his ability to get open, I think that he is going to absolutely ball out here for New England. That combine, like I said, did not test very well. His vertical jump was only a 29. His broad jump was only a 9.10, and then his 40-yard dash was only a 4.5. So like I said, didn't test out well, but the Patriots are getting an absolute steal here. Boutte in an interview also acknowledged the fact that he did not perform very well in the combine, that he had not exactly the collegiate career that he would have liked to have, but he told Patriots fans, I'm all in, I'm focused, and he's ready to prove people wrong. You can tell that this man has a chip on his shoulder. And let me tell you, a guy with first round projection just a year ago, before the start of the 2022 season, I'm just saying those guys always seem to do something in New England. And I'm really, really excited to see the potential that this one could have. But what are your guys' thoughts on Kayshon Boutte? Let me know, Kayshon Boutte in the comment section below. Remember to leave a big like on this video and subscribe to the channel for all of your New England Patriots news. I appreciate you guys as always for watching, and never forget, go Pats.